Welcome again to True Story, documentary interview podcast powered by Institute of Documentary Film in Prague and Film New Europe. Today we are here with Andrea Culková. Hello, Andrea.
Hello.
30 years ago, Czechoslovak grief over a devastated landscape and lack of care for the environment was one of the propelling forces to the Velvet Revolution. Soon the country took a deep breath, not only freedom, but also cleaner air. 3 decades later, however, grief over the climate situation is growing, clashing with ignorance and again becoming a rebellion. Various movements have recently changed and focused on the climate change, and one of them is Extinction Rebellion. Its activists are portrayed in Andrea Culková's new movie, Grief. How did it happen in your life that you started be in touch with activists of Extinction Rebellion?
How to make a long story short. Actually, 1 year and a half, I think, ago, my daughter started to be active in climate movement somehow, and she was the one who brought me closer to activists. She met people from Fridays for Future, but actually I recognize people from Extinction Rebellion, because for me they were somehow, they brought something original. They brought emotions, they brought art to the actions, and that's why I started to be, really interested, and I wanted to move to meet them. And first of all, I wanted to help them. The first was the help. I didn't think about the film at all. First, what I wanted was to help them, because I felt I am a filmmaker and I can help them in communication with media, because I somehow felt that this is something where maybe they need some kind of help.
One could ask why Extinction Rebellion needs to be here, because there are movements like Greenpeace, many other movements who were already very, very active in the climate change. Mm-hmm. Why Extinction Rebellion are here, and what's coming new with them?
Mm-hmm. What was new, I think, was focus on emotions. Because they really brought emotion into the center, and all the actions were playing with emotions. And I think they open up this issue of devastated nature and climate change through emotions. I think for me, this is the way how we should all approach it.
Because sometimes you hear people say, yeah, we know all the data, we've heard it all, but what can we do? And Extinction Rebellion movement is coming with some new repertoire of actions. What's the new thing they are doing, let's say, in comparison with movements which were here before?
We have here really, I think, cinematic photos from one of their actions, Red Brigade. And I think in this picture you can see what I mentioned before, how in the center of their actions, it's really strong visual, approach. This is something new, what they bring in combination with the direct actions. Yeah, and everything is around emotions, again about emotions. And I think it's, in English, the name of our film is Grief. What we was trying to do with the film, it's to build kind of a therapy session, And so the opening and the first parts are really, I think it's not nice to watch this beginning of the film, I think, yeah, and because it's like, when you have to face climate change, it's also not nice. So many mixed feelings. You feel, first you are denying, it's not possible. It cannot be so bad, you are hysterical. It's first reaction. And we know from so many people around, from politicians as well, no? This denying is the first stage of climate grief. And then it's anger. And we also know so many people, they are reacting with this anger. And also in the film, you can see these people, how they are meeting even calm activists, which are, I think it's in the moment of the film when there is the hunger strike, and they are really passive, they are not provoking anyone, and but people around, they are really reacting with anger. And third stage of climate grief, it's the bargaining. You are pointing things like, okay, it's nice that it will be warmer because grapes will be sweeter, wine will be, more sweet, or, you are pointing...
It's some change, and we always
we can adapt it, like that. And then there is, I think, the most important part, and this is this depression. When you really finally face these feelings and you are open for this pain. I think it's up to acceptance of pain, And actually, it was moment where I started the film. I felt really big pain for many reasons. Mainly, of loss, my personal loss, and together with this climate crisis. But I think it's really important because from this moment you can act, and I strongly believe that hope comes with action.
Okay, now let's watch the trailer.
Bojím se, že se lidstvo už zřítilo tak hluboko do propasti, že odtamtud není cesty zpět. A bojím se, že je nám to úplně jedno.
Před rokem začalo pro mě takový dost depresivní období něčeho, čemu se říká environmentální žal. Myslím, že slovo žal je dost eufemismus vzhledem k tomu spektru a intenzitě emocí.
Každý den na světě vymře 150 až 200 druhů živočišných nebo rostlinných.
A já teda, když káceli ty stromy, tak jsem cítila fyzicky bolest.
Ono se to vrací v takových vlnách, to jako asi všichni známe, že člověk si projde tou nejhorší debkou a pak z toho vyleze, je to vlastně dobrý, ale jednou za čas se to takhle vrátí a teďka vás to jako sejme.
Jste takový český Gréty.
Jo.
V tom zachovat přírodu fandím, ale Gréta to občas přežene, že?
Ona to přežene, protože prostě ta situace je vážná a nikdo na to nereaguje, že jo.
Neberte se, abych ty do prdele! Vyšlíš, já jsem práci, vole, já na to nemám čas. Neber se, jak jdi do hajzlu. Já tam v některých věcech i souhlasím, ale opusté komunikace. Rebellion!
O blokádě se psalo trochu, o zablokovaném autobuse se psalo docela hodně, který jsme zablokovali omylem, takže to je taková jako ironie docela. Takže v tom bylo taky jako určitý zklamání pro některý lidi.
Proč tady dneska visíš?
Myslím tady za vaši budoucnost, děti.
No, dobrý den.
Ahoj Míšo, já jsem si přečetl vaše inovativní úpravy na tom a nic proti tomu nemám.
Jo, dokonce ani proti tomu závěru nic nemáte, kde tam vybízím lidi k aktivismu.
No, klidně.
And Extinction Rebellion is here actually to propose us some actions. What is it, what they are doing? What were you filming with them?
I think they are doing many different type of action, from really peaceful hunger strikes. Right now, I think they spent 18 days in front of Ministry of Ecology to point out, be aware what is happening. Please act according that to politicians. But they are doing also swarmings. It means they are blocking streets. They are gluing themselves to the street. And I was really interested, you know. You are a mother, you know. So you can be my hero in the film, and I film you how you are gluing yourself to the road, you know. And I would love to know why. What are the feelings? What is your motivation? Maybe you were activists before, but most of characters what I have in my film, they were not activists before they came to Extinction Rebellion.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Who are these people? Who are these? This film is about mainly about women, and as you said, they were not activists before. And what is the reaction of their surroundings, of people around them, of their families, husbands, partners, mothers, fathers? Because this is usually very, very tough.
Definitely. So first of all, I think there are different ages, different professions. You know, one is IT person. The first character, which is in the film, she's IT person. You would not guess that she's the IT. One of them, she's makeup artist. You know, one of them is dancer, translator. They are really different, totally different type of occupations you can meet there, and different ages. I would, in England, where this movement started, I think this is really interesting. The gros of the movement is built by women over 60. You know, so it's grandmas. Actually, this is movement of grandmas, you know. Here, we have also a few older women, but we need more, definitely. So we have this age really from young activists. I think the youngest was 14 years old. And oldest 72 or something like that. You were asking about also about reactions of their surroundings. Totally different. You know, I think in some families, you know, after a while, after repeating, explaining, some families accept what they are doing, but I definitely there are some families or people, members of families of these activists, and they never accept what they are doing. So mixture.
This is actually a moment in our history very unique. There was no time, as we know, in our planet when we would face such an extinction. Every day I heard there is like tens of animals disappearing from this planet. And this brings me to a question of how to talk about this with children, because this is one of the topics also of your movie. What is your personal experience, and what would be, if there is any advice from your side?
I can recommend Perfect Book, which was just recently published. So, in the end of the podcast, we can give a link
okay.
to this book, which can help, to parents to explain what is happening. It's important. I have 3 kids myself, and we have to be open as much as possible and talk to them according to their age. It's. I have really close friend, and she was kind of. After the film was screened, she saw it, and she had a really problem to talk to me for a couple of months.
Why?
Because for her it's too much. That she really protected her kids in kind of safe bubble. So she said, I have to save them till maybe 18. They will be 18 years old, and then world
We can tell it all.
Yeah, the true will, And I don't share this. I think we have to be open because they should be aware. They should prepare. We have to prepare themselves for such a world, for such a society. It's our duties as a parents, no?
And in general, if you try to imagine the general reaction to your movie, what do you hear the most from people who watch your movie now?
It's mixture, really mixture. Generally, people say if they are open that it works like really therapy. That it's actually the film took their hand and walks with them through this really, bad, not nice emotions. This is a stage of depression when you have a feeling that everything is lost, but it leaves you in the moment when you really have a feeling that you want to do something. And in that moment, I would ask you, because you saw the film. So tell me what this film did with you.
Actually, I'm sure now I'm coming back to the activism. I have to explain my family. They don't know yet, but it's going to be funny. But it looks like from your movie that you found the recipe for how to deal with this crisis. For you, it's being active, as you were also in your life before. Are there any other reactions for people than activism in your eyes?
Pressure. We have to change the system. We know this. Climate crisis affects all aspects of our life. And, to protect ourselves, we have to really change the system. But we cannot change it, as Andrea, I cannot change whole system. But what I can do, every day I am doing many political decisions. What I am buying, what I am consuming, with who I speak. Now I speak with you. It's also an act of political act as well. This is one part. And in that sense, I would really recommend Tomáš Heisler, Kolibřík. It's the title Kolibřík in Czech. And he, I think, make perfect collection of advices, what you can do as a person, as a normal citizen. This is the first step. But in the end of all these advices, he said, but I realized that we are only these little birds, and if we want to change the system, we have to push he said, the president of boss of the globe, And what we have to do, we have to press, the men, mostly men, in the power to change something.
True Story is a documentary podcast powered by the Institute of Documentary Film. You can find news from the world of film on all the common platforms such as iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, as well as on docweb.net.
This leads to a very interesting question. I hope we will make this experiment one day, but if women were in power, do you think it could be better?
The research was already done. It was big research. They were comparing more than, 93 or something like that countries. And they found out where there is majority or really a significant number of women in government or parliament in the power. These states have much progressive ecological climate laws and politics. So now they continue in this research, and they would love to find why, because it's strange to think that it's only because of gender, So I am following them, and I would love to really know and bring here the result, because I'm really interested to find out.
So imagine that there is an artificial intelligence, and this artificial intelligence is now having the task. We give her or him the task to solve the situation. What would artificial intelligence do? What do you think?
But then now we are touching the problem, because as you know, artificial intelligence mostly, programmed by white men. So artificial intelligence has a problem, to to recognize, for example, face of colors, So we have to be aware that the information what we are putting in artificial intelligence are coming also from female members, Always it's like that. We have to think that it's not, it's dependent on us, sources what we are putting there.
Yeah, but some say that it's actually scary because if this artificial intelligence would have such task, it would delete us all from this planet because people are not dealing with the planet very well. What to do with this? What could we do to so we could live here on this planet?
I think it's more a question what to do with these feelings when we feel that we are part of the problem. No, it's a really inconvenient feeling. There are, definitely inconvenient feelings. We are part. You. We are all part of problems. But what I'm trying. Yes, we are trying to save humanity. Yeah, it's true that planet probably will survive. Yes, we want to protect place for our kids now, and one of these characters told me that she is actually scared from a moment when we, as a humanity, will be in a moment when we cannot help weak persons anymore. That only the strongest one win. And I think this is the moment what is also, for me, really scary. Because we are terrible as humans, but at least, humanity, it means to help someone which is not in position as we are. I think this is something what we should protect. So that's why I think the term of climate justice is important to push forward, because it's not, and I am really proponent of not talking about climate only from ecological perspective, but really from perspective of our society.
Okay, so who wants to see Andrea Culková's new film Grief goes to dafilms.com or needs to go to any of festivals where this film is going to be screened. Andrea, thank you very much. Good luck with this film, good luck with your next films, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
True Story is a documentary podcast powered by the Institute of Documentary Film. You can find news from the world of film on all the common platforms such as iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, as well as on docweb.net.